The Fitterist Show with your host, Christopher Allen, where we explore the art of mind and body conditioning. If 2019 was the year of fitness bands, fitness apps, ketogenic diets, intermittent fasting, the advent of the next generation of in-home fitness with companies like Peloton and Mirror, the birth of the Megaformer Pilates machine workout, the explosion of artificial meat food products, and more, what's in store for 2020 and beyond? In today's show, we take a look at the 10 major trends in health and fitness for 2020 and the next decade of wellness. Whether you're setting your 2020 New Year's resolutions or you've been hitting the gym consistently and just want to know what's coming next, these are the health and fitness trends you'll be seeing next year and beyond. So let's dive in. There's no denying that the past decade has seen major changes in the health and fitness world. The last decade has pretty much been about going harder and faster every day, crank up the intensity, the rise of high-intensity interval training, a lot of restrictive diets like keto, new apps and advances in technology that keep evolving, and many other changes. The next year and probably the next decade to follow will be about maybe slowing things down a little bit, concentrating on your workouts, managing stress levels, all of those types of things, all while maintaining an underlying theme of convenience for fitness enthusiasts as well as health-conscious consumers. Make it easy for you to work out on your terms, leveraging the technology and the resources to help you get the best out of your health and fitness plan. So let's take a look at the top 10 health and fitness trends for 2020. Number 1 is wearable tech. Not too much of a surprise, but technology has infiltrated pretty much every aspect of our daily lives. Fitness, really no different. Got wearable technology, fitness trackers, smartwatches, heart monitors, all of those things that will be continuing to evolve along the fitness circuits and merging the concepts of fitness and technology going forward. As technology-based wellness innovations continue to evolve, the fitness landscape is definitely shifting toward much more of digital connections. You've got apps, wearables, at-home equipment with digital programming. You've already seen the beginning of what fitness technology is capable of, and it's just going to explode more and more in 2020 and beyond with an increased focus on community and how you connect with others. Just to put things in perspective, let's take a look at the marketplace. The smart wearables market is huge and growing quickly. By 2022, so just 2 short years away, it's estimated to be worth about $27 billion, which is double what it was in 2018. There's about 85 million smartwatches that will be sold globally in 2019, depending on how the Christmas numbers came out. Apple Watch certainly accounting for probably half of all of those units sold in 2019. And you've also got trends like Google, who bought Fitbit in November for about $2 billion. And in that same month of November 2019, Whoop, the fitness and sleep activity tracker Whoop, secured an additional $55 million in funding for continued operations and expansion and scaling their business. So in 2020, we'll see a lot more accuracy and accessibility across smartwatches. The things will get better. Technology will get better. The artificial intelligence and machine learning in these devices will get better so that sleep trackers, activity trackers will include things like downloadable maps for running off the grid. Electrocardiogram technology will get better to make sure that you're monitoring your heart. And sleep trackers that really help you determine what type of workout your body is most rested for. So you don't do the same workout regardless of how much rest you've had. It gets calibrated toward that rest interval that you've had and might determine and recommend a different type of workout depending on your rest. Another sub-market to the wearables technology is the clothing and integrated clothing. More companies experiment with connected clothing, fitness wearables, and start to connect the two to become more and more mainstream probably in 2020. Still relatively smaller than just the overall wearables market, but it's probably going to hit about $4 billion in 2023. Number 2 is group-based exercise. This carryover from 2019 as well. And if your competitive streak is motivated by group or team-based workouts, then 2020 is going to be right up your alley. So these group-based training, which is roughly defined in the industry as more than 5 people, will continue to be a popular fitness trend in 2020. Classes are social. They're highly motivational. They've got a exciting instructor and provide instruction for people who need structure in their daily workouts. So working out in small focus groups, including small training groups and fitness classes that allow one to work out with their friends or be in an environment where they're getting pushed by others in a class setting. It also helps to break down some of the natural barriers and gets people to feel a little more comfortable and confident with one another, helps develop relationships, friendships, and even self-confidence as these group classes continue to drive connection, as people continue to crave connection now more than ever. In 2019, more and more of the boutique and fitness chains finally turned their focus to people of all fitness levels. So a lot of these group classes emerged as people that were in peak shape, really pushing and driving. But a lot of these chains, to expand their market share, have now gone after a larger market segment to allow more people in. And they also have, as part of some of their entrance criteria, they'll either pair people up with a heart rate monitor or have them take a fitness survey in order to track their personal growth. So it's not as much about you riding faster than Mary. It's about me riding faster than I did a week ago. It allows each person to feel like they're working toward their own goals versus feeling like they're in a competition or being compared with each other, which often happens, or it often can happen in a group class setting. So it's trying to shift that focus on you be a better version of you. Everyone there is trying to do the same thing. It's not that Mary's faster than Bob or Sue's faster than Lisa. It's about you are getting better. Number 3 is technology-infused home gyms. So this trend started with companies like Peloton and Mirror, and people clearly want the convenience of working out at home, but still want that community aspect that has really been missing until companies like Peloton, like Mirror, like Tonal are exploding because they offer ways to interact with others without actually having to be in the same studio. So geographic boundaries fall apart and allow you to interact with people from all over the country or all over the world. And we'll probably see more and more brands starting to replicate this now proven model. And some heavyweights are going to start to weigh in. NordicTrack, Bowflex, all those guys haven't even really started their marketing in this area. Expect them to weigh in a non-trivial fashion in 2020. So the gym, the trainer comes to you right in the comfort of your home. The big question is whether or not people will find this as fun and effective without the live person and the actual live person community aspects of going to the gym. But consumers have also clearly voted that gyms can be great for a workout, but sometimes just getting to the gym is tricky, especially when the weather's bad or when kids are sick. Even though many consumers still crave an in-person experience, we're seeing people supplement those workouts with an at-home experience as an option, which offers a huge convenience factor that physical gyms and studios just really can't offer. Another aspect of this that's gaining steam is cardio exercises that are available on YouTube. People posting YouTube videos on how to do certain exercises. That can also be super convenient and allow you to access that from home. Just a couple of quick comments on Peloton and Mirror Home Gym. I talked about that in a previous episode of the Fitter Show. But Peloton is starting to expand their offerings and their connected membership service. So you buy the bike and then you buy a subscription service to take all of the classes. That connected service has nearly doubled between 2018 and 2019. And it looks like they're going to post revenue of just shy of $1 billion in 2019. So it's real. At the same time, they are also indicating that they have about a 95% retention rate for 12-month memberships. Now, that's a little artificially inflated because they require a year commitment up front. So it's a little built in. But overall, I would be surprised if that dropped significantly because their consumers and people that have bought the bike, bought the subscription service, are committed to the Peloton system. In the Mirror, which is an interactive full-length mirror that's kind of turned home gym, allows you to access classes, Pilates, yoga, a bunch of different instructional videos right from this interactive mirror. They launched in the fall of 2018, and by the fall of 2019, they're continuing to grow. They haven't disclosed any particular numbers, but they're now starting to offer, through technology in the mirror, including a camera and speakers, they're going to offer the option for one-on-one personal training sessions for $40 to $50 a pop, I think. So we'll see how that pans out for them. Another trend in general in the industry is health, fitness, wellness subscriptions. Subscriptions are kind of eating the world. Everybody from Netflix to Mirror are subscription-based. and they've infiltrated the health and fitness space as well. Whether it's fitness clothing subscription boxes, smart gym equipment with workout subscription classes like Peloton and Mirror. And I think in 2020, we'll see more and more of digital health companies will be showing both current and potential future products and services that will only grow this category in 2020 and beyond. Number 4 of the top 10 health and fitness trends for 2020 is HIIT eclipses HIIT. HIIT is high intensity, low impact interval training, and it's surpassing HIIT, which is high interval intensity training, mostly due to the low impact nature of the workout. So HIIT embraces the benefits of HIIT, which is efficient calorie burn. You don't spend a ton of time. You really increase your metabolic rate. You improve your oxygen consumption. You reduce your heart rate and blood pressure and blood sugar as a result, but in a low impact environment that reduces a lot of stress on the joints. So HIIT, in theory, enables athletes to give 100% in a strenuous workout while preserving their bodies for longevity, allowing them to recover a little bit better after the workout. One example of HIIT is rowing. So there are in high-end studios like Rowgata and Lit Method in LA, Row House. The rowing machine is one of the most efficient pieces of equipment for HIIT because what it does is it's kind of low impact, but it works every large muscle group, engaging most of the body's muscles in every stroke. So it allows athletes to maximize their endurance gains while really minimizing the stress on the joints in the body. And again, just because HIIT might eclipse high-intensity interval training or HIIT is not going away either, right? It's still going to continue to grow. It's basically, the theory is a few minutes of an intense burst of exercise followed by slow cardio or low-intensity activity. So an example would be pedaling super fast for 1 minute, and then dropping the intensity to a much lower level for 2 or 3 minutes, then and again a burst of high energy, high intensity training, followed by again a period of low intensity training. The results have been generally pretty good, and especially for people with a very short period of time, it's one of the best ways to get a complete workout with a pretty high caloric burn. Number 5 on the list is active recovery, and this one I'm actually excited to see make the list because for many years the focus has been on training hard, work out hard, suck it up, and we're just turning to recovering in that same mode. Recovery is so important for progress and growth, and if you train for high capacity for weeks on end without proper rest, without proper recovery, it really diminishes all of the training that you're doing. So what are some of the things we might see in the area of active recovery in 2020? Well, one of them is likely going to be fitness technology and also accessories like compression boots, compression leg sleeves, recovery-focused studios. I've seen some things already, flotation therapy, you've probably heard or seen cryotherapy, recovery IVs to replenish all of the lost vitamins and minerals and trace elements that are necessary for full recovery, will all start to become more a part of people's training regimen. So with recovery and rest being a huge focus as people look to future-proof their bodies and make sure that they have longevity in their bodies for later years, you'll likely see an increased emphasis on sleep. It's a huge, important factor in both mental, emotional, and physical health. So sleep will be a huge focus. Simply taking the day off from training isn't always enough to sufficiently recover a lot of the time. So giving your body time to rest and recover from tough workouts should be just as important part of your training as the workout and your nutrition itself. It's also important to follow the science and choose methods that are proven to be effective and safe. Remember, not everything has to be high-tech, cryotherapy, or on the expensive side of the gamut. There are some lower cost and simple recovery techniques worth trying. You can do things like massages, active recovery, stretching, things like foam rolling, all will help your body recover so that you'll be more poised to have a better workout next time. Number 6 on the list is biohacking. Chances are you've heard people talking about biohacking, but if you're not quite sure what it is, you're not alone. It's kind of where fitness wellness meets extreme geekdom / medical science. It's kind of been described as a systems thinking approach to our own biology. So it's kind of also known as do-it-yourself biology. It's an extremely broad and amorphous term that is biohacking that can cover a huge range of activities. The bottom line, though, is all these activities are all in an attempt to boost one's physical and cognitive performance, trying to manipulate your brain and body in order to optimize performance outside the realm of traditional medicine. There are several conferences that focus on biohacking and preventative health care that are starting to draw experts and scientists from all over the world in an effort to start to look at the future of biohacking and what that means for regenerative programs, bioanalysis, genetic testing, IV infusions, ozone therapy, colonic hydrotherapy. There's a lot of things, and maybe we'll cover this in a future episode of the show. But biohacking coming in at number 6. Number 7 on the top 10 health and fitness trends for 2020 is mindfulness. Now, exercise is a fantastic tool. Physical activity has the power to relieve anxiety, reduce stress in the body, but there's also a shift to using this tool more and more by adding to it and including things like mindfulness practice that provides many of the same values. It actually helps manage anxiety, can help with depression, with the knowledge that we can use both mindfulness and exercise in a synergistic fashion to really help ease stress and improve overall health. So mindfulness will be increasingly connected and reflected in fitness. So health won't really be broken down into two separate categories, one being mental and one being physical. But gyms and studios will start to incorporate more mindfulness as a core part of their actual health and fitness plans. Now, how will this manifest itself in reality? Well, like I said, health and fitness clubs are starting to do things like build in purpose-designed meditation rooms as part of the gym environment. Yoga is also very meditative, and a number of studios are now incorporating elements of mindfulness into workouts. Even things like Barry's Boot Camp, pretty famous, has hired its first mental health consultant. And the goal is to educate trainers on how to deal with issues surrounding mental health in the actual exercise studio itself. So expect more of these types of conscious workouts in 2020 and beyond. Meditation is generally proven to be a good thing, general mindfulness as a form of self-care. And we practice both meditation, mindfulness, in addition to physical exercise to reap the benefits, ranging from stress reduction to improved sleep to a heightened focus and increased creativity and awareness. And fitness will likely just continue to evolve that blur the lines between physical and mental fitness and a greater emphasis on what happens before, during, and after the workout, including our overall state of mind, our sleep, our preparedness, our awareness, our stress levels, as well as our nutrition. So look for that trend to continue. Not too surprisingly, coming in at number 8 is yoga. Now, yoga has been a mainstay in a lot of these fitness lists and has been gaining momentum over the years. There's so many different versions and varieties of yoga. I just did a quick search: aerial yoga, water yoga, cold yoga, obviously hot yoga, facial yoga, goat yoga. There's just so many different types that fitness experts, health enthusiasts have been really keying in on helping people find their zen through many different versions of yoga. And it's clearly gaining momentum across celebrities, across health clubs, across boutique studios. It's now widely practiced for a lot of its physical benefits as well. A lot of people initially looked at it as meditative, but yoga is the real deal. It challenges your strength, your balance, your flexibility. You have so many variations of yoga out there that does things like combining yoga and HIIT. So you have high-intensity interval training yoga. You have yoga with calisthenics. You have something called yoga lattes, yoga to Pilates. And you have a lot of these different hybrid alternatives, all that challenge you both mentally and physically. And as one starts to take a look at a holistic approach to their overall wellness, clearly living a balanced lifestyle and practicing yoga fits right in with a lot of these goals. Number 9 on the list is VR workouts will start to emerge and include workout gamification. So VR stands for virtual reality, and it's really poised to leave kind of this consumer tech area and really start to emerge in the real world. Just to give you a perspective, global VR headset sales are projected to nearly double by 2023. There were 52 million devices sold in 2019. and that number is expected to go to over 100 million by 2023, and VR game revenue could top over $8 billion. So all of these devices require downloading games or apps from something like an app store. And some of the downloads are free, some cost money. It depends on which headset and which console that you're using. But the general concept of VR workouts is pretty much the same across all the devices. You put on your goggles, your headset, you enter a virtual scene, and you start working out. Now, in the virtual world, there's really something for just about everybody. You can play tennis, you can golf, you can box against a virtual opponent, you can practice yoga, you can dance, you can even squeeze in a body weight strength session doing push-ups and all sorts of body weight exercises. And there's also the other category, which is more traditional video game, but it gives you a lot of creative options to continue to move and sweat. And there's sword fighting games like Blade and Sorcery. There's lightsaber games with Beat Saber that allows you to move, duck, a lot of physical activity. And so VR has this unique ability to essentially trick people into thinking that they aren't really working out. They're playing this game. But the reality is some people will be exercising quite a bit in playing the game. You have to kind of insert yourself into a place you actually want to be and an activity you want to do. So if it's playing a video game, it's a lightsaber game, it's much more appealing to a broader set of people than maybe going to an overcrowded gym or trying to run outside when the weather's inclement, etc. So as with most new technologies, VR headsets and at-home workout devices can be expensive as they're early in their market penetration. And there isn't a lot of research into the long-term effectiveness of VR workouts yet, but they're coming. And something to keep in mind, VR workouts could be a fun, really immersive way to just mix it up. It's not like this is the only thing you have to do or you get to do. You can mix in VR workouts with going to the gym, with yoga, with going out for walks, all of those things to kind of complement your fitness routine. And finally, number 10 on the top 10 health and fitness trends for 2020 is functional and mobility fitness. Now, functional fitness is all about building strength to make it easier to perform everyday tasks in life, whether you're picking up a 50-pound bag of dog food or lifting your carry-on into the overhead bin on an airplane. It's been around for decades, but it's been growing in popularity over the past years because people get bored of the same gym routines. They want something that will challenge not only their strength and fitness, but also their flexibility, their balance, their coordination. And it often sometimes gets mislabeled as stretching or flexibility, but mobility and functionality training is actually about improving and protecting the range of motion in your joints and muscles. What are some of the benefits of functional training? One, the movements translate really well into real life, much more readily. It's not about certain exercises they might be doing to build up muscles like in bodybuilding, but much more rotational and unilateral movements using one side of the body as an example that translate much better to real life. Another benefit is because of the variety and different types of equipment and movements, you're much less likely to get bored and quit. Functional training really concentrates on refining the balance and coordination and building strength in the right way. The trend is particularly important type of training for older adults and will ensure a much more longer-term view, injury-free health and overall fitness plan. So in summary, remember that while boutique fitness studios will have an ultra array of boxing, boot camp, rowing, running, CrossFit, HIIT, all different trendy things, remember that the core research and numerous studies have found that short bouts of physical activity, even at relatively low intensity, can prolong the lifespan and prevent chronic illness, and in some cases just as well as more intense, longer duration exercise. The latest update to the Federal Physical Activity Guidelines of 2018 agrees that any exercise is better than none. Wow, that really took a lot of research to come to that conclusion. Jesus. Even if it's just a little bit of exercise. So the key is to get out, regardless of your New Year's resolution, get out and move. Each year brings with it the opportunity to reevaluate your aspects of your life. And naturally, many of us will use it as an opportunity to make tweaks to our wellness and fitness regimens. These 10 trends are likely to surface with more regularity in 2020 and beyond as people look to optimize their health and wellness while still retaining a component of convenience that fits their lifestyle and their schedule and their interactivity and community needs. Remember, it's easy to get swept away by a buzzy fitness fad and trendy technology, but not every hot new workout is effective, even safe, or worth your time. Some of the best exercises are simple, free, and effective. And making sure that you exercise regularly is far more important than how you might work out on a given day. That wraps up this episode. We hope you've enjoyed this list and take something away into your fitness routine in the coming year. Have a happy and healthy new year in 2020, and we'll see you in the next episode. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to The Fitterist Show. You can follow us on Instagram at FitteristMindBody and on Twitter at FitteristMind. If you enjoyed this episode, please send it to a friend or subscribe to make sure you don't miss any future episodes of The Fitterist Show. My name is Christopher Allen, and make it a magical day.